Welcome back for more Banging the Can, the Houston sports podcast that does not apologize for championship rings and tings, presented by Bolen Media. I am your host, Ross Bolen, and as I have been desperately scanning the horizon for reasons to be excited about the Texans' upcoming football season, aside from Pat McAfee pumping up the team on social media for some inexplicable reason, I did find one story for Texans fans to get excited about. And before you accuse me of being a negative Nancy and yell about Lovie Smith or the potential of Davis Mills or whatever, please remember, I am simply setting our expectations as a fan base to a reasonable level so that we are not lighting ourselves on fire by week 6. That's all I'm doing. Don't be angry at me for speaking the truth. So here's your good news, Texans fans. Mark Berman of Fox 26 tweeted out the reduced costs of key concessions items for games at NRG Stadium this season. So while the product on the field has been largely ass for the entirety of the franchise's existence, at least they've lowered the price of a hot dog 31.7% from $5.49 to $3.75 to try and make it up to us on the backside with our bottom line. Anally, you could say. After all, we do blow these concessions out of our asses in the end. So aside from the price of a hot dog dropping a whopping 31.7% drop for a fucking Frankfurter, for a fucking hot dog. Aside from that, a 20-ounce soda goes from $4.79 to $3.75. That's a 21.7% decrease. Chicken tender basket goes from $10.09 to $7.75, 23.2% decrease. And a 16-ounce domestic beer goes from $8.69 to $7.95, only an 8.5% decrease. Knocking the price of a hot dog down over 31%, but only decreasing domestic cold beers by 8.5% seems a little screwy, if you ask me. But I guess they know the drunks will cough up whatever it takes to keep the buzz going. But look, just to be clear, we all know they pay like 10 cents per hot dog, though, right? Like, sports stadium concession pricing has always been one of the best examples of price gouging and greed in the history of man, because they know you can't go anywhere else. They know you're an alcoholic with terrible eating habits. They know they have you trapped in there for hours. So they bend you over. Big news for the hot dog, soda, and chicken tender basket consumers, though, of which I am one. I am stoked for this. As a result, I would never, by the way, arrive inside that stadium, NRG Stadium, sober anyway. So I don't particularly care about the prices of the beers. But I do arrive very hungry. Hungry as a hippo, you might say. And I'm well-versed in eating my feelings. So, big news for me today. More Texans-related news momentarily, but first, today's episode of Banging the Can is brought to you by Felix Gray glasses. 5 years ago, Felix Gray set out to create eyewear that would improve daily screen time, and since then, Felix Gray has been on a mission to create a better relationship with technology. They filter 15 times more blue light that can make screen time tough on eyes and disruptive to sleep. I've been working on the internet for over a decade now, spending like 10 hours a day staring at screens. I've been wearing contacts and glasses since I was like 12 years old. When I'm done with work, I like to relax by watching sports on TV. I like to watch the Astros, the Texans when they're in season, the Rockets, obviously, which involves even more larger screens after work. So a few years ago, when I was introduced to Felix Gray glasses, everything changed. These glasses are the quality of designer frames. It's not some cheap blue light coating that's going to come off over time. It's not going to happen. No chipping, no cheapness, just incredible quality designer frames that are stylish and functional as they protect your eyes from all the blue light that the screens we rely upon emit. Tough to cut back on screen time in 2022, especially if you've got a career like I do, but you can do your eyes a solid and get yourself some Felix Grays to get relief from those headaches, dry eyes, blurry vision, and what have you that occurs over the course of your workday, or even on the weekend if you're doing a sports bender on Saturday or Sunday, just watching all day. I mean, that shit wears your eyes out. It's a lot of blue light coming out of those screens, it turns out. Not a thing we knew when I was a kid, but we know now. And Felix Gray's got the glasses to protect your ojos so you can enjoy the Astros and Texans and Rockets to the fullest of your heart's desire after work is said and done. I've got like 6 pairs of their glasses. My favorite frames are the Faraday, the Nash, and the West. So go check them out at felixgrayglasses.com/thecan to support the show and get free shipping, free returns, and free exchanges. They've got non-prescription and prescription available to you there. So check them out. felixgrayglasses.com/thecan. That's FELIXGRAY glasses.com/thecan. THECAN for free shipping, free returns, and free exchanges. And other Texans-related news on Tuesday, August 9th, 2022, Roger Goodell laid out the NFL's public case for a larger and longer Deshaun Watson punishment while stating that the Cleveland Browns quarterback engaged in, quote, multiple violations that were, quote, egregious and, quote, predatory. As we are all aware, independent officer Sue L. Robinson ruled in the league's disciplinary hearing on August 1st that Watson violated the NFL's personal conduct penalty amid multiple allegations of sexual misconduct or sexual assault. But she limited his ban to 6 games, writing that his, quote, pattern of behavior was egregious, but, quote, nonviolent sexual conduct, and noted that no player who has ever been suspended for nonviolent sexual conduct in the NFL has ever received a suspension longer than 6 games, which doesn't seem like it should be the way that standard is set, but okay. So per the collective bargaining agreement, the NFL and the NFL Players Association had the option to appeal the decision made by Judge Robinson, which they did. They exercised it, and they're seeking a suspension of at least 1 year. So Roger Goodell was addressing the league's appeal from NFL meetings in Minneapolis, and he used Robinson's, quote, egregious, end quote, language while making his case. He said in answering why they were going after a year, because we've seen the evidence. She was very clear about the evidence. Should we enforce the evidence that there was multiple violations here and they were egregious and it was predatory behavior, he said. Look, if the NFL is outright saying that you were engaged in egregious and predatory behavior, those are pretty strong words. Pretty strong words, especially when you repeatedly deny all the accusations. Deshaun Watson has said, quote, I've never assaulted, I never disrespected, and I never harassed any women in my life. I don't have any regrets. End quote. That's a bad one that he shouldn't have let out of the bag. I don't have any regret. You don't have any regret. You don't regret hiring 66 or however many allegedly separate masseuses you flew in from all over the fucking country. You don't regret that? It's massively upended your career. You should perhaps consider regretting that decision. That was regrettable by definition. So this guy's shown no remorse whatsoever, which I think is a big part of the reason Goodell is going for his dick, because it just makes the league look ridiculous. And the fact that they still, I mean, we're 20 years into this, have not figured out a way to discipline players in a more, I mean, just like, there's no standard for anything in terms of punishment with the NFL, and their bargaining with the Players Association seems to be the thing that makes it incredibly complicated. But it's like, dude, at some point, somebody has to write like a set of standards for punishment based on, and obviously there's individual circumstances that apply to each case, but goddamn, give the judges something to go off besides what they've done in the past, because the NFL's past in punishing players was awful. That's why people have been complaining for 20 years. See, if the judge goes, well, nobody else has ever had a nonviolent sexual assault case get them more than 6 games, then 6 games must be the maximum, so that's what I'll give this guy. It's like, what? So you're arguing that this didn't set a new standard, that this wasn't worse than before, and that before they were correctly punishing players? I think all those things are incorrect. Like, I just don't get it. So I understand. In this case, obviously I'm in Goodell's corner. Fuck Deshaun Watson. I'll say it again. I don't know how many times I have to go over this, but that guy sucks. He fucked us, he abandoned the franchise, and he assaulted a bunch of women in the process, muddying everything in his wake. And Browns fans should be upset too. Now they're getting screwed. It's a mess. The dude is a dickhead. He's shown no remorse, zero apology. I mean, it's unbelievable. Fuck him. Earlier this year, the Browns traded 3 first-round picks for this guy, then signed him to a 5-year, fully guaranteed $230 million contract, the largest guaranteed contract in the history of the National Football League. Whew. And now all but one of his 24 accusers have settled their civil cases out of court. That was 24 accusers of sexual misconduct or sexual assault in civil actions. And the NFL's hearing considered just 4 of those accusations. Goodell told reporters that the league considers them separately rather than a single violation, which is interesting. But so, according to Yahoo, Watson's fate now lies in the hands of former New Jersey Attorney General Peter C. Harvey, who is overseeing the appeal. He was appointed by Goodell, an agreed-upon part of the CBA. Harvey is a former federal prosecutor who was on the NFL committee that suspended Dallas Cowboys running back Ezekiel Elliott for 6 games in 2017 amid an accusation of domestic violence. His eventual decision here is not subject to further appeal. So whatever former New Jersey Attorney General Peter C. Harvey, the person in charge of overseeing appeals that was appointed by Goodell as agreed upon in the CBA, once he's made his decision, it's over. So whatever this guy picks, which sounds like it'll probably be a year plus, based on Goodell's repeated statements, based on the fact that Goodell appointed this guy, based on the fact of everything else that I just said, there needs to be a new standard set, and Deshaun Watson needs to be the example. His career is already fucked. 10 ways to Sunday. This is never going away. Ever. Ever. This will be talked about the rest of his football career. He's already missed an entire season. He stands to miss probably another one. I mean, fuck him. Throw him under the bus, dude. You gotta start somewhere. This is the spot to pick, and I think Goodell knows that. He's a total dickhead, made horrible decisions in the past in terms of how he's run the football league in terms of social issues. An incredible commissioner in terms of ownership profits. Terrible in terms of moral and socially responsible decision-making. And here's his chance to sort of turn the tide a little. So we'll see. If it was any other player, man, maybe I'd give him a shred of the benefit of the doubt. But I've watched Deshaun too closely for too long. And something ain't right. That boy ain't right. To quote Hank Hill, something is not right, and I hope he gets the fucking book thrown at him, dude. That's what I wish for. And normally I wish no bad on no man, no negativity. That's poison. But in Deshaun Watson's case, fuck him. Today's episode of Banging the Can is also brought to you by Grammarly at Bolen Media. We produce several podcasts, and we only have 3 full-time employees, so we don't really have room for miscommunication. Communication is literally our business, and that's why I love Grammarly so much. When you're moving fast and juggling more projects than you can count, you don't have time for breakdowns in communication. Luckily, Grammarly makes professional writing fast and simple. It's an all-in-one writing tool that helps you churn out clear, concise communication quicker than ever. So whether it's mass emails or boardroom presentations, or official contracts, you can find the right words to communicate efficiently. Grammarly makes me a more effective and efficient writer when I'm writing our shows or typing up emails for our company, not only by checking my spelling and grammar as I go, but also allowing me to quickly access synonyms so I don't end up using the same words repeatedly, which I know is an issue for a lot of people. Also, if I miss a spot where maybe I needed a comma, it'll fix that. It's honestly essential. Grammarly is free to download as a desktop app and works where you do, so you can work more efficiently on all your projects. Trying to nail the perfect cold pitch? Use Grammarly's free tone detector to make sure you're making the right impression. You got the idea in your head, but putting those ideas into words can be tricky. With Grammarly Premium, you can clear up the confusion with clarity-focused sentence rewrites. Convey confidence with ease when you use Grammarly's premium tone transforms. Get to the point faster. Accomplish more with Grammarly today. Go to Grammarly.com/BTC, as in banging the can, BTC, to sign up for a free account. And when you're ready to upgrade to Grammarly Premium, you'll get 20% off for being a can banger. That's 20% off at Grammarly, Grammarly.com/BTC. In Astros news, this is enormous. I'm about to make one of the most enormous sports announcements I've ever made in my long and storied career. I am finally able to watch every single Astros game, despite living in a blackout zone, thanks to my brother Sam. Thank you, Sam, soon to be Uncle Sam, Sam the man. After years and years of suffering under blackout restrictions. I'm finally free. Now, I will not specify why out of fear, perhaps even paranoia, that those rights might be taken from me. But the point is this. No longer do I have to tweet out, can I get a Reddit link? Can somebody hit me with a fucking streaming link for this game? No longer. I'm free from the shackles of blackout restrictions, and I'm happier than I've ever been. So I've been watching pretty much every game to celebrate, right? Normally, honestly, I'll tune in, get a feel for what's happening, because I've got some shitty stream. I'll get sick of the pop-ups eventually and then just follow along on Gamecast. That's how I've handled a lot of the non-playoff part of the last few seasons. But this year, back half of the season, I am watching every fucking game. I am all in. And as such, I watched the Astros versus the Rangers in the opening game of that series last night. Big comeback win against what I would consider to be a nemesis of the team, Martin Perez. Top Rangers, we beat them. Top Rangers pitcher against us, Martin Perez. Man, Aledmys Diaz has been on fire. I mean, he's remained in fuego, driving in 4 runs with 1 swing to tie the game after we were down 4-0 when I turned it on. I turned on the game, we're down 4-0. I go, fucking Rangers. I mean, look, losing sucks, but it happens in baseball. Losing to the Rangers, though, it's the worst. It's not great. I don't like it. I don't like Arlington. The Arlington, I don't like it. I don't like it. I've got a serious problem with that general DFW area, Arlington included, which is where I believe they play. I don't even know how far away that is. Just fuck the Rangers. We go on to win 7-5 in the series opener against the Rangers, and we play them again Wednesday and Thursday. But then it's on to the Athletics on Friday. The one notable issue I have seen with this team, we all know the back half of our season schedule is fairly straightforward. We got one of the better, easier, softer schedules the back half of the year, which is great because we have an incredible record already, and it's only going to get better from here, theoretically. But the issue I've noticed, first of all, number one, and everybody listening knows it, I'm going to give you 10 seconds. Think in your head, what's one of the major issues you've noticed with the Astros this year? All right, that's enough seconds. You don't get 10. If we score 8 or more runs in a game, it's almost guaranteed that the next game we shut it down offensively, that we're cold as fuck with the bats. It's an undeniable pattern, to the point that I even said on Twitter, like, it's almost financially irresponsible to not fade the Astros after an 8-plus run game. It used to be, before a few weeks ago, it used to be 10-plus runs. It was guaranteed that the next game we would get our asses kicked and fail to score at all. Now, it's really just 8-plus. It's a high-scoring game. 8-plus... and suddenly we just are uninterested. It's ridiculous, but that's the first issue that everyone at this point has noticed. All right? The other one is that they seemingly play down to the competition, like the Rangers and the Athletics, which frankly, I would like to see stop. Beat the shit out of the bad teams, man. Don't make us suffer. I don't just want to catch the Yankees. I want to catch the Dodgers. All right? With, like, the Cleveland Guardians series. That was a weird one. They suck. They've sucked since time. I mean, it's been a long time. The Athletics are the greatest example right now, where we just cannot seem to beat the Oakland A's. It doesn't make any fucking sense. By the way, the Guardians, what? I still, look, I don't know how many years into this we are. I know that the name needed to be changed for reasons of cultural appropriation that are, I mean, it was just wildly inappropriate, frankly. It's a shocking thing that it lasted as long as it did. That being said, the name they picked blows dick. It's as bad as Texans. Texans is bad, by the way, if you haven't come to terms with that. Like, our football team's name sucks. The Houston, that's a city. Texans, that doesn't even really fucking make logical sense. Now, the options weren't great, and I like our bull branding. I like the uniforms and the fucking logo. The name just, it stinks. Houston Texans, like Texas Rangers, that stinks too. You know? But Cleveland Guardians? They should have gone all the way with this shit. Just made it Cleveland Guardians of the Galaxy, got the Marvel bag with the whole kit and caboodle, and moved on. If you're going to go that route, what are you guarding? Guardians of... What are you guarding? You got to guard something specific. Just doesn't really matter. It's not a baseball term. You don't guard anyone in if it was fucking basketball, the guardians might be kind of tight because you guard players individually. You don't guard anyone in fucking baseball, dude. How is that argument alone not enough to knock that team name off the list? Just strike it out and go with the next one, whatever the fuck. Do something funny at this point. Guys, we figured it out. We get it. Everyone is out of ideas as far as sports teams' names go. We know. That's why there shouldn't be any new ones created. That being said, do something fucking funny. Do something fun. Houston Texans is kind of funny because it's so stupid. That's how I eventually got past the hate for the name. But Guardians? That just sucks. Go weird with it, man. Go Cleveland Unicorns. That's some shit I can get behind. Who the fuck doesn't want to root for the Unicorns? Boom. Problem solved. Anyway, made some interesting pickups at the trade deadline. Trey Mancini has been unbelievable. This guy's he's incredible. Home run in his first starting at bat. He's got a multi-home run game, including a grand slam under his belt already. The dude loves the Crawford boxes. Obviously was a huge pickup for us. Thank you, Click. Again, you should be sucking his dick, Click, at this point. We are so stacked. Lance isn't even back. Lance is ready to return. Lance McCullers Jr. is ready to roll back out here and make our fucking pitching roster even more ridiculous. Our rotation's about to get even nastier. The Astros just have to make the decision. We got 39-year-old Justin Verlander hurling a Cy Young level season. Now, we also picked up Will Smith. Braves closer, had a really bad year. I mean, his worst since his rookie season, I think, statistically. Just unbelievably shitty. He can't stop balking. It's really not what you want in your pitcher. I saw I don't know if you were watching the Rangers game last night. It's 2 balks in like a 5-minute period. I had to check my fucking pulse to make sure I hadn't slipped into an alternate reality. Will Smith hadn't had a balk in like 8 years. He's had 2 this year. Anyway, that dude kind of stinks. I don't know if it's just like we were like, he sucks during the season, but he crushes it in the postseason, and that's what we need. I also realized like Presley's had a little bit of struggles. I get going and finding another guy just to kind of make sure you've got somebody else. It makes sense. That being said, I think Ryan Presley is our closer. And I think as long as he can get next, keep the momentum he had at the middle part of the season before that most recent outing that was not great. And that's our guy. I think he's proven it. I understand having Will Smith. I understand that our pitching staff is unbelievable and that they can help out a guy like this who's kind of fallen off of his track. But holy shit, he's just given up bombs so far and balking, which, again, not ideal. One more thing I want to cover today. Here is a headline. I'm on cron.com, just checking out, making sure I haven't missed anything during the time we've been recording. And here's the headline I'm staring at. Vernon Maxwell recounts the time he tried to stab Hakeem Olajuwon. What? How the fuck? I never heard this one. Everybody knows Mad Max was a psychopath. I met him in real life. He held me close. He said psychotic things into my ear. We got pictures together. I'll put one of them up. But I didn't know he tried to stab Hakeem. I might not have let him linger around my neck area as long as I did if I had known that. So apparently he went on No Chill with Gilbert Arenas as a podcast. And Mad Max recounted an infamous locker room incident with the Rockets icon Hakeem Olajuwon. As Maxwell described it, at halftime of a 1990s game against the Seattle Sonics, after Maxwell complained about his lack of shot attempts, Olajuwon slapped him in the locker room. Maxwell then threw a chair at Hakeem, shattering glass in the locker room and spurring police to enter the changing area, guns drawn. Maxwell said he grabbed a piece of that glass and intended to stab Olajuwon before officers intervened. Now, first off, Mad Max is undeniably, no one is in contention, the most entertaining former professional athlete in the history of Houston. On any team. The guy's incredible on Twitter. He's an awesome presence at games. I love him. He's all in for the city. He knows exactly what he's doing. He realized, oh shit, I'm a legend here. I can just ride this till the end of time. Yeah, you can. He also knows the statute of limitations. And he's probably made up with Hakeem, I assume. And he tells this story with nothing at risk. Normal people don't attempt to stab someone and then recount it on public podcasts later in life. That is typically frowned upon by your lawyers. I'm not a stabbing guy. I don't like stab all that much. I just tried to do a stab and it ended up looking more like I was beating off a ghost. That's unfortunate. But the point is, if I was a stabbing guy, I don't think I would try to stab somebody and then tell the story on this podcast because that's incriminating. Mad Max doesn't give a fuck. This dude is a full-blown nut. And you have to respect it. Like I said, endlessly entertaining. I think he's gotten guys like Mario Ellie off the couch and involved in the Twitter sphere. But Mad Max is crazy, though. So, in all seriousness, don't fuck with him. Don't fuck with him. It's why when he makes all these jokes about Utah, and I'm like, oh, these are great. These are funny. But I am a little worried that, he might, go to Utah and just start stabbing people. Everyone listening is at least a small percentage concerned that Mad Max might legitimately kill someone at some point. Now, if you weren't already. Incredible story. Follow us on social media. We are on TikTok at Banging the Can. We're over 22,000 followers now. We appreciate you all for the support. It means a lot. At Banging the Can on TikTok and on Instagram and on Twitter. I am Ross Bolen. You can follow me on Twitter at WRBolen. Same on Instagram. My first name's William. If you're like, what's the W for? Winning. And also William. William Ross Bolen. Twitter, Instagram at WRBolen to follow my personal accounts. And really, that'll help you keep up with all the Bolen media shows. The Ross Bolen podcast is my personal comedy and mental health show. Big focus and emphasis on comedy. We also have an F1 show. If you're an F1 fan, my co-host on the Ross Bolen podcast, Jared Borislow, otherwise known as J-Bone, does the Formula Bone F1 show. Formula Bone, not one. Formula Bone F1 show, available wherever you listen to Banging the Can. And then, of course, House of the Dragon is starting up on HBO August 21st. The former #1 Game of Thrones podcast in the world, hosted by me and my dear friend Barrett Dudley, Oysters, Clams, and Cockles, is returning to cover House of the Dragon Season 1. We are recording that night right after we watch the premiere, so it'll be ready for you August 21st late at night or even August 22nd early in the morning when you're at work or whatever. If you're watching House of the Dragon, which you should be, it's time to go back to Westeros, folks. It's time to let go of our past, forget about what happened with Season 8, and move forward to a new show, a new story, where we don't have to risk getting away from the source material and botching the landing. You see? That's the position we're in now with House of the Dragon. We're excited for it on Oysters, Clams, and Cockles. If you want to get a Banging the Can dad cap or t-shirt to represent on the streets of Houston, we would appreciate that as well. Go to bolenmedia.com/shop. Thanks for being with me today. Appreciate you spreading the word far and wide to all your Houston sports friends and family about Banging the Can. Follow us on social, like I said. Support our sponsors from today, Grammarly, as well as Felix Gray. Grammarly.com/BTC for 20% off your Grammarly premium membership. And of course, FelixGrayGlasses.com/TheCan for free shipping, free returns, and free exchanges on your blue light glasses. Until next time, H-Town, stay down.